Hi, it's Caitlin, and I'm here with the latest release from Phoenix. And again, it's an amazing collection. It's huge, and this one is called Blood and Fire. So half of the collection is a jelly finish, which is like the blood side, and then the other half is fire, and those are all holographics. Many of the holos are one coaters. They have an amazing formula, and the jellies might be some of the best jellies that I've ever used in terms of smoothness, opacity, consistency. I'm just completely impressed. So like the last collection I showed off, I don't know if these are still available for pre-order. I checked a couple of the websites and they might not be available for pre-order currently. They will be available again, but probably not until later in November or into December. I will link all of the stockists that carry Phoenix down in the description. And there's a lot of polish, so let's just get into it. We will start with the fire half of the collection. And first up, we have Sea Smoke. So this one is described as a gray linear hollow with pink to golden shimmer. So this has a fantastic formula. It's honestly like butter applying on the nail, as you can probably very easily see. On that first coat, the coverage is extremely even and smooth, and you can go in with the second coat for complete opacity. This has a beautiful buttery formula is the best way to describe it, and the Phoenix Indie Polish brush is so easy to work with. It gives you a lot of control over your application. And I will be showing you top coat applied all over all of the polishes, and I'm using the Cuticula Limitless Quick Dry Top Coat because it is my favorite. And I will also be showing you all of the holos once the top coat's dried down. So here you are seeing the holo dried fully down, and it's just so beautifully pearlescent and rainbowy. Next up, we have Vermithor, and I am absolutely not a dragon person. I mean, I'm assuming these are based on Game of Thrones. I've never seen the show, it terrifies me. But this one is described as a copper brown linear hollow with red to golden aurora shimmer. And this is another absolutely beautiful linear hollow. It has a fantastic formula, honestly. So many of these were perfect, even in one coat, that you could just get away with one coat if you felt like it. But of course, a second coat generally deepens everything up, and you can see that beautiful sheen to it. The golden shimmer is just a beautiful complement to the base color. So this is perfect in two coats, and top coat will generally enhance the holographic effect. So you also want it to dry down fully to get the fullest holographic effect. So once again, this is with the top coat fully dried down. You can see just how rainbowy this is. You can see the shimmer, and it's beautiful. I love, love, love brown hollows. Next up, we have Vermax, and Vermax is described as a chartreuse linear hollow with red to olive aurora shimmer. And this one is another beautiful, beautiful polish. This is a beautiful shade of green. It's showing mostly to me as a bright kind of grassy green rather than a chartreuse, but that golden hollow effect that you see comes from the shimmer, and it is just so beautiful. I thought this covered beautifully in one coat, so I left it in one, but of course do two coats if you want. And wow, this one is so pretty. I can't say enough good things about these linear hollows. The formulas and the finishes are absolutely mesmerizing. Here we have Cyrax, and Cyrax is a beautiful mustardy golden linear hollow with orange aurora shimmer. And this is one of my favorites. I loved this color with my skin tone, and I felt that the linear holographic effect was particularly strong with this one. And you can also see that shimmer is just like popping off the nail. So this one I built up in 2 coats, though as you can see, in terms of opacity, these all were opaque in 1 coat, but adding a 2nd coat sometimes deepened the color. The formulas were fantastic, so I love that you could wear them in 1 if you wanted, or 2. And of course, the top coat is only going to help that hollow just pop even more. So here it is, and you can definitely see that beautiful golden orange shimmer popping through the nail. This one is so rainbowy. Moving along, we have Sunfire, and Sunfire is a bright yellow linear hollow with red to golden iridescent sparkles. And this is a yellow lover's dream, honestly. It's so pretty, it's so bright, it just makes me happy looking at it. And I did not experience any signs of staining with this one, which is always good news when it comes to yellows or richly pigmented polishes. This one is also just packed to the brim with linear hollow, and it is just a beautiful linear hollow pigment that Phoenix used. These are very high quality products, I will just say that for the record. And of course, that golden shimmer, which they described as red to golden iridescent sparkles, just adds this beautiful dimension to the polish. You can see it there, how it just creates this really warm and shimmery sheen. It's very complementary, and it just creates the most beautiful yellow effect. This one is making me think of sunshine, and I love it. Next up is Vagar, and this one is a mossy military linear hollow with green to golden shimmer, and this one was so opaque. Like, do you see it? There's absolutely no way anyone could need 2 coats of this one. This is a 1 coater without doubt, and I did not experience any staining. It's richly pigmented, but it dries down very easily and beautifully. And the linear holographic effect in this one is really strong and absolutely beautiful. The addition of that shimmer just is this beautiful golden hue to it, and it's just so rich and foresty and perfect for fall. I love, love, love this one. And next up is Ice Dragon, which is a ultramarine linear hollow with blue aurora shimmer. So a lot of these hollows have it's not complementary. I don't know what you would describe it as. It's just a shimmer that's almost the same color as the base, which just creates a beautiful integrated sheen, which is what you're seeing here. It's just so special and extra. Like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like going above and beyond, just creating a beautiful linear hollow, but then adding the shimmer, it just adds another layer of beauty to the polishes. And this was a 1 coater again. I smudged my middle finger, so I didn't want you to see it. So you're just getting my index finger. But this is so rainbowy and pretty and blue like the sky. I really love this one. I'm saying that about everyone, but I love them all. This one is called Caraxes? Anyway, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but also I don't really care because this is not my scene. But this one is an Oxblood red holo with iridescent sparkles that shift from red to gold. And honestly, I just said that not dinosaurs, dragons are not my scene, but these polishes all have a very medieval dragony vibe to them. So I think that Phoenix really nailed the inspiration as a non-expert. And this one was another one coater. It covered beautifully in one coat, and this it is a really rainbowy one. Some of these are a little more linear than others, and this one was particularly linear with the holographic effect. And next we have Melius. I'm just guessing at this point. So this one is a red linear holo with pink iridescent microflakies, which you can see just peeking through, and they add a beautiful dimension to this polish. It's like a holographic cherry. This is a beautiful, juicy, luminous polish. You can see even after the first coat dried down, the linear holo sparkles just kind of pop a little bit more. So I will recommend 2 with this, but honestly it looked great in one coat as well. And what I love about all of these polishes, aside from their fantastic formula, is just how, I don't know how to describe it, like just everything about them. They just feel very high quality and luxurious, and I think Phoenix does a great job creating very luxurious polishes. And I mean, all you have to do is look to see how beautiful these are. This next one is called Tessarian, and Tessarian is a Blurple linear holo with green, turquoise, blue Aurora shimmer, and you can already see that shimmer easily on the nail. This one is super opaque, and yet I didn't experience any staining with it. Incredible formulas, honestly. This one, when it dried down, I thought maybe it could use another coat, and so I did put a second coat on. This one is one of the more shimmery polishes in the collection, I would say, and as you can see, it looks amazing before top coat, but it also looks amazing when you apply top coat. That's why I love the Cuticular Limitless top coat, because it does not dull the linear holo at all. And it of course then just enhances the longevity of your manicure, which who doesn't want that? So this is it after the top coat's dried down, and you can see just how rich this one is. It's more of a navy blue than a blurple, but it does have a purpley undertone to it. This one is called Drogon, and Drogon is a brown jelly base with red iridescent microflakes and black to red multichrome microflakes. So this is probably one of the most complex holos that are in the collection. You can definitely see, in addition to the beautiful, very strong linear holographic effect in a beautiful brown base color, you've got the flakes going on, you've got some shimmer, and this one is just perfection. I think brown holos might be my favorite color of holo. There's just something about the way the rainbow looks in a brown base, and this one is vying for the top spot as my most favorite brown linear holo. And what I love about the additional elements in this polish is that they don't take away from the linear holographic effect. They just kind of enhance it and create the most beautiful finish. So here it is after the top coat's dried down. It's just like rainbow mania on your nails, and Drogon is beautiful. I don't know what that dragon looks like, but it must be the most beautiful dragon because this is the most beautiful linear hollow. And last but not least, from the hollow side, we have Balerion. And Balerion is a black jelly packed with hollow flakes and red to black multichrome shimmer. So this is also kind of an outcast in the collection in the sense that it's not a linear hollow, but it's got hollow flakes in a black jelly base, which is my favorite kind of polish of all time. Pretty much. I do love hot pinks, but a black jelly based with hollow flakes is my go-to manicure when I don't know what to pick. I just feel super cool when I'm wearing black nail polish, and then of course when you add hollow, especially flakes, it just amps up the amazingness to a million. And this one also has red to black multichrome shimmer, which is probably also one of my favorite nail polish elements of all time. So let's just say this is hands down my favorite polish in the collection, and I am literally obsessed with it. It looks like a pair of black jelly rain boots I had as a kid, and Balerion is clearly the coolest dinosaur, or maybe, oh god, I keep saying dinosaur, dragon. It's a dragon. I'm so sorry. I probably offended the dinosaurs and the dragons. Moving over to the blood side of the collection are the jellies. And first we have Aegon. I'm so sorry. This one is Aegon 2, and it's a bright yellow jelly with an amazing formula. So I decided to do one finger swatches with the jellies because they don't have any shifts to them, and also I don't want my fingers to start bleeding again. So this one I built up in 3 coats, and I will show it to you after with like the skittle that I did on each hand, so you can see all of them with top coat. Next up is Laenor. Love how I'm just like guessing at all these names. This one's a soft gray Crelly, and this one is a really interesting shade. It reminds me of an OPI Ballet soft shade polish from, my god, more than a decade ago, and I loved it. So this one has an amazing formula. It builds up beautifully, and it's got a beautiful squishiness to it. Here we have Rhaenys, and Rhaenys is a super bright, squishy jelly. It's absolutely beautiful, and I will note that this finger is my ridgiest nail. It has like a full-blown ridge in the middle of it, and still this jelly formula stuck to it without a base coat and didn't start running or pooling or anything. So that's saying a lot about the formula, especially if it works on my little sad ring finger. This has an amazing formula, and it is so bright. Here we have Rhaenyra, and this one is a super cool mustard yellow jelly. So if you're into shades like this, I highly recommend this polish. It has, again, an amazing formula, and it's such an interesting shade. It's like a mustard with green, and it just looks super cool. The fact that it's a jelly, I think, just adds to the cool factor with this one. It's beautiful. So I built this up in 3 coats. And here they all are pre-top coat. I did like an accidental skittle, which actually looked kind of really cool. It's making me think of Harry Potter for some reason. And all of these, as you can see, dry down quite shiny on their own. But of course, top coat just helps seal the deal and enhance the glossiness, especially if you're planning to wear it for more than 5 minutes. So these all dry very quickly, which makes it a breeze to apply 3 coats, and I did not experience any staining with these shades. Moving on to the next few, we've got Jacaris, and Jacaris is a beautiful chartreuse green jelly, and this one looks really cool in one coat. So again, these can all be worn in one coat if you wanted, because they have such a good formula. They would also be amazing for jelly sandwiches, but if you want, you can pretty much build all of them up to opacity in 3 coats. And I will note that these sort of macro swatching shots are very unforgiving, so you won't see as much nail line in the full hand shot as you'll see later. And here we have Lena, and Lena is another beautiful green. This one is slightly different. I would say it's deeper and mossier, like a blackened green. And this one, once again, on my ridgy finger, has a really good formula. It covers things up pretty well. And as I mentioned, this is super up close. Jellies do tend to look better from a distance, and these, stand the test because this is really close up and you can still see it covered fully even without base coat. Here we have Jacaris, and at this point, I'm just fully guessing, and I wasn't going to look up 24 names of dragons. So this one is a beautiful pumpkin-y orange. It has a beautiful color. It's like a rusty orange, and this one is, in my opinion, opaque in 2 coats. It had a fantastic formula. And for my little pinky, we have Night King, which is a beautiful ultramarine blue jelly. There's something about this shade that I will always gravitate towards, and this one has a fantastic formula. So I will recommend building it up in 3 coats. But I love how squishy this jelly is. These are honestly incredible jellies with beautiful, beautiful formulas. I have no complaints whatsoever about any of them. So here they are from more of a distance, so you can get a better sense of how they're going to look when they're not right in front of your eyeballs. And the formula on my middle finger, the orange, is just so wonderful. Like, that one was completely opaque in 2 coats. My index finger is definitely one of the sheerer jellies in the collection, so it's mostly covering for opacity, but not as opaque as everything else, as you can see. So hopefully you can find this helpful when you're deciding what colors to pick up. These are all color accurate for my skin tone. And we have our last 4 from the jelly side. This is Daenerys, and Daenerys is a beautiful brown jelly. It's like a very warm and rich chocolatey jelly, and it builds up really beautifully as well. So some of these jellies are more transparent while others are a little more opaque, and this one is a beautiful mix of the 2. I think in 3 coats you get pretty much opacity, as you will see on the full hand shot. Next up is Daemon, and this is a vampy lover's dream. This one is a beautiful sort of mulberry shade. I don't know if that's the correct phrasing. they're describing it as an oxblood jelly, but it's giving a little more purple berry undertone to me than oxblood. And I love the formula on this one. This is the kind of color that I would also just gravitate towards when I wasn't sure what to wear. And I'm always going to feel super chic with a beautiful jelly like that. It's totally opaque in 3 coats. And next up is Viseris, and I also, as I'm reading these names, I'm just thinking about like who came up with them, and they're just like A's and E's together are old-timey, and so are Y's and S's. And I'm sure there's some historical reason for that, so feel free to enlighten me if there is a historical reason for those spellings. But anyway, it's interesting. I'm learning a lot about stuff as we speak. This one is basically a black. And lastly, we have Daron. And this one is a beautiful navy blue. I love my navy blues. This one is really saturated, but it's not staining. And it actually was opaque for me in 2 coats. I just love a good rich navy blue, and I just want to take this one and throw a hollow flake topper on it. So here, this is like a beautiful subtle gradient. I'm very, very into it. And you can see just how pretty these are. I hope I'm not the only one who loves jellies, because I'm sure most people will be really excited about the hollows, but there's something so sophisticated and elegant and edgy about a squishy, glossy, solid colored nail like these, and Phoenix did a fantastic job. So much love for these polishes, both the jellies and the hollows. I have a lot of favorites, so I will try to get through them quickly. But first off, Sea Smoke was one of the hollows, and I just love ethereal polishes. That one's like a gray linear hollow with shimmer in it, and it had a fantastic formula. It was beautiful. Apologies for the pronunciation. Cyrax, I think, is super, super linear, and I don't have anything in that brownie orangey category, so it was very unique and had a fantastic formula. And of course, I loved Balerion. The hollow in that one was amazing. It was more scattered, and of course I loved the shift to it. Thought it was like absolute perfection. And then on the jelly side, I genuinely will recommend every single one of those jellies. I don't even know how to pick, so I can just say that when I think back to the ones I tried, Rhaenys, Rhaenys is like such a bright red, and the formula is so good, and it's so squishy and pretty, so I love that one. And of course I loved Night King because of that blue. It's just like so perfect and bright and squishy. So let me know in the comments what you think of this collection. Let me know if you plan on picking anything up when you can. And yeah, I just had a ton of fun swatching these because they're all so beautiful. Did I wish there was sun? Absolutely, but we make do. So that's it for me, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!